Today, we're going to add this kind of documentation inside your Next.js project. So I have my Next.js project right here, and I want to have a documentation to display to the user on how to use this product. So I have my link to my documentation, but right now I haven't set up it yet. It's 4.4. So our goal is going to add something similar like this to this project right here. All right, so let's learn how to do that. All right, so right here, I have my existing Next.js project open inside VS Code. It is app directory. And so if you want to follow along, you can use any your Next.js project, or you can start from a fresh Next.js project as well. So in order to add this kind of documentation, we're going to use the tools called Next.js. So Next.js is a simple and powerful tool to generate the site and a static, and it's read from the MDX file. And you can go into the showcase. You can see there's a lot of company and site using this technology to build their product. And so you can go ahead and check it out as well. So in order to do that, you can go into the documentation. On a quick start right here, you can see they give you the two themes, the document theme, which we're going to add, and the block theme as well. And also you can create your custom theme as well. So they tell you what to do inside here. All right, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to use the document theme, which this is our goal. So let's click on this one. And so right here, as you can see, if you wanted to, if you start your Next.js project, like the fresh new, and if you want just to have just only this kind of documentation, you can just go into this one. It's an extra doc template. So you can just use this template and it will look something like this. So you do not have to set up on on your own. But right now, what we want is to set up this one to our existing project, right? So for that, we need to follow this step. And as you can see, if you already have Next.js installed, so this is you need to do. You need to install this dependency and follow this guide right here. So that's what we're going to do. So right now, we need to install this two dependency. Let's copy this one. And let's come here and let's go into install. So right now it's going to install this dependency. So while it's installed, we can come and check this one. So right now for the package.json, I think this is going to be similar. If you go into the package.json, my existing one is the same as this one as well. So basically this is like a simple script to run your next project. So right here, we need to update the next config. So for the next config right here, it's going to be a little bit different for me and for the other projects. So if your project, as you can see, my project is nextconfig.mjs, right? And the document here is next.js.config.js. So if you have config.js, you can just copy and paste this one. But if you have .mjs, so you're gonna follow with me. So first I'm going to come here and I'm gonna import Next.js from Next.js right here, and let's save this one. And right here, I'm going to create the function called with Next.js is going to be equal to Next.js. And then we're going to add the configuration into here. So the configuration is going to be this one. So let's copy this object right here. And we're going to paste this one. So this is where we tell the Next.js, okay, I'm going to use the doc theme, and this is my theme configuration file. So right now we haven't created yet, but we're going to use this one. So I'm going to use this one right here. And then for this one, we going to pass our next config. Okay, so this is my existing next config. We have the image and things like that. So if you have your existing next config, it's going to be a little bit different from mine. So then you can just pass this one as a parameter to this function. So that's all good to go. So now we need to create this file right here. So let's do that. So it's going to be themes.configs.jsx. And then for the content of the theme, you can just copy and paste this one, and let's save. So we're going to come back for this page and we're going to update it later. So as you can see, the logo right here. So this is not what we want, right? But right now we can just copy and paste and make sure that our setup is working. And the next step is we need to create a page directory and create the MDX file. So right now, you can see our app is using app directory, right? So you can use both app directory and page directory at the same time. So for some of you who haven't finished this step, but if you wanted to run right now, this is going to be some error. So let me show you the error, what's going to look like. So right now, as you can see, so we need to restart our next config since we updated. Let's try to run this one. And as you can see, everything seems fine. But if you go into your application right now, if you try to refresh, there's going to be error right here. So if you look at the error, it's not really helpful, but right here is The Next.js is targeting the page directory. So right now we do not have the page directory inside our apps right here. So that's why it's crashed. So for that, let's create the apps directory. So I'm going to do create the apps right here. Not apps, it's page directory. And right here, we need to create the MDX file. So for now, I'm going to do the docs.mdx file. Okay. And right here, we can just go and copy the content of this one. So basically, this is just your markdown file, so you can write the code snippet and put an image link and things like that. Basically, this is the markdown. Okay, so let's save this one, and right now let's try to restart this one again. So I'm gonna come here and I'm going to restart our server again, and right now let's try to refresh our apps, so make sure that everything is okay. So as you can see right now, this page right here is running on the app directory. It's working fine. And right now, let's try to go into the docs page. So let's try to navigate to this one. And I think it's compiling for the doc page right now. So as you can see right now, it should generate the Next.js. So everything that you can see right here is coming from this Next.js right here for the now bar, the search, the icon, and everything. So all we need to do right here is we need to add more page, the MDX right here into this one. It will generate a file. So for example, if I creating the about.mdx, and then if you come here, so you will see this, we have the about right here. Okay. So one thing that you need to notice is that, so this page right here, it's going to be some overlap page. So right now we're running both app directory and the page directory. So if you have the page that is start with the same route. So for example, inside your app directory, you're going to have your home page, right? You have your home page right here. So what if inside your page directory, you have the home page as well? It's going to be conflict. So let me show you. So right now inside our app, so we have our home page, which is this page right here. And right now, if I going to create another index page inside this one, so if we go back, we're going to have the arrow right here. The arrow right here is very useful as well. It shows you, okay, there's a conflict between app directory and the page directory. And so you need to please remove the file. So you can decide which file that you want to remove. And so it's really helpful, this arrow. So once you have that conflict, you're going to just remove this one. So right now, this one, that's what I don't want. So I remove this one. So later on, I'm going to show you, we need to make sure that every page that we create inside the page directory, make sure it's not going to conflict inside the app directory. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So right now we finish our setups on our documentation. So the next step that we're going to do, we're going to learn how to customize the themes right here. All right, so in order to customize the theme, so we need to go into the themes.config right here. So this is, you can see, this is your logo. So this is like your JSX element. If you have your other component, so you can write it inside here as well. So you can use it outside and then import into here. But right now I'm going to change this one to, let's say, this one, daily doc, and then let's come back. So you can see this will updated to the daily docs, and for this one we have the dark mode and the light mode as well, which is really nice. And for this one, you can check out more in the documentation for the theme. So let's go into the theme configuration on the sidebar right here. So you can see this is really helpful if you wanted to, let's say, updating related to SEO, you can just do something like this one. And if you wanted to create a head tag, you can do something like here as well. So for example, I'm going to copy this one for the head, and then let's just come here and paste. And so this one, we're going to have like the OG title and things. So you can basically update this one to tailor to your documentation, to your projects. And so let's say if you want to have like a banner, so the banner looks something like this. So basically you can just copy and paste this one, and which I'm going to do here. I'm going to paste this one. And then if we come back to this one, so you can see we have this banner right here as well. So this is really nice. And so yeah, so if you want to update your theme, let's say this one, your footer and everything right here, you can go into the theme configurations, basically this one right here, and then you can read on the sidebar which one that you wanted to update and things like that. you can try to customize on this one, so that you will learn a lot on how to do this one. So I'm not going to go on everything that we're gonna customize here, but I'm gonna show you where that you know how to customize. So that's where you can customize. So right now we know where we can customize. So the next step that we're going to do is to create the link right here. So as you can see on this same thing as this one inside this one right here. So our goal is we want to put everything inside the doc slash. So if you look at this project right here, everything that inside here is under the doc and then slash the whatever path that's related to this file right here, right? So but right here, if we go to about, so this is going to localhost 3000 / about, but this is not what we want. So we want to have everything under this about. So right now, let's try to set up the page configurations. So for the page configuration, so we can come back here and then go into the page configuration. This is where you can configure your page. So for example, they show you have your page and you have your all MDX file, and we have the meta.json right here. So the meta.json right here is going to map your file into the name on the sidebar. So let me show you. So let's try to copy and create this file. So make sure it's inside the page directory, and inside the page right here, let's create the meta.json. And then let's copy this content right here. So right now it's going to map. So it's going to look, okay, this is the about page, right? So the about is going to look as about.ers instead. And for the docs, and it's going to do something else. So for example, if you can come back here, so you can see the about, and it will turn into the about us. So it will look into the page that match. So we have the JSON right here. So it will look into this key. So if this key exists inside this one, it's going to transform that into this name. But if it's not exist, so for example, the doc right here is not exist inside here, right? So it will stay the same. But if I can change, if I can come back and then update the docs right here, so the doc right here will turn into like the big docs right here. So you can just change this one into whatever you want. You can even set your name or even emoji inside here, okay? So right now, if you come back, so you can see it turn into the doc right here as well. So this is really nice for ordering. So for example, right now, if I want to order the doc here on top instead, so I can just paste the doc on top right here. And right now I can save this one. And if you go back, you can see the doc right now is stay on top. And for even the link that does not exist, it will also generate as well. So for example, the index here is not exist, right? But it also generate this one as well. But if when you click this, nothing's happened because the link is not exist. So make sure you map the key right here into related to the page that you have, okay? So right now I'm going to remove this one since we do not have this one inside our page right here, okay? So that's great. And inside the page configuration, you can do the drop down as well. So you can see this one. We have like a nested link and the drop down below here. So in order to do that, you can create the same folder structure just like this one. So for that, let's try to do the same. So here I'm gonna do like a fruit, and then inside the fruit right here, you can have like the apples.mdx. And so if we go back, so we will have like the fruit and we can have the apple right here, okay? And inside each of the folder, you can have another meta.json. So for example, I can copy the meta.json that belong to this folder, and you can map the key inside this folder as well. So right now, this is do not have a docs, right? We have the apples. And inside the apple right here, you can change to anything you want. You can change to like a banana, if you can as well. So you can see right now it's have banana instead. But so make sure you map this key to the key that is correct. So right now I can just do this one back. And also by default, it will cast, let's say if you start with this one with lowercase, so it will do the uppercase for you. And then if it's something like this, you probably done it as well. So maybe you can add like, you know, something else like this icon, this right here, so something like that. All right, so right now we know how to do nested and things like that, which is great. So if you basically all the documentation will show you how to do that. And also if you want to add a link to external page, so for example, you have like your GitHub link, you can just do something like this. So right now I'm going to go into the meta.json, which is outside. I can paste this one. So this link right here is something that we want. So let's go here. So you can see But if you don't want to create a page for this one, because this page will link to external page or external URL, so you can just do something like this. We have a title and the href right here. So right now you can just click on this one, and so it will do that. And also I believe you can do that with the new window as well. So you can see you can just do this one with the new window. So this one will open up in a new window. Okay, great. So you can check out more inside here. So right now, but we want is to do the same as this one. We want to put everything inside these doc and slash this one, right? But our page right here, we have everything, but everything is outside of the docs slash docs. And so we wanted to do something similar. So as you can see for the apple right here, the apple is inside the fruits and the inside the fruits, right? So we want to create the docs folder and put everything inside here. So for that, let's go into create the docs folder, and inside the docs right here, you can put anything that you want. So for example, I'm going to do getting started, the .mdx, and then if you go back, so we're going to have the getting started, and let's start with the docs right here. So as right now, I'm going to remove all of the page. So okay, so which is I don't want this one, so I'm going to remove this doc right here. Even the doc homepage, I do not need it. This one, the fruit right here, I'm going to delete as well. So I'm going to keep only this one right here. And so right now, this doc right here, it not exist. The about right here is not exist as well. So I'm going to remove this two key. So it leaves us with this one only. So right now, if you go back, so we will see that we have the doc and the Nextra. So one problem is that right now, the docs right here is follow what we want, right? The path and everything. So if we have the something else like an API, we can do something inside here as well, like, you know, the API.mdx, and it will look something like this, and then it will stay under the docs right here. Great. But we can see that everything is inside the doc dropdown. So this is not great. So for example, if I do not have this one as well, so basically I'm going to remove this one. And so you can see the whole thing is inside this dropdown right here, which is not the same as this one. So in order to fix this one, we can go into the meta.json, and then we can update like this. So we're going to go into the docs, and then we're going to put the title of the docs right here into as a doc, and this type of this one is going to be a page step. So okay, so right now when we turn into this one, and if you come back, so you can see the doc drop down is gone, but everything is inside the doc/doc. So you can see go here and here, so doc API, doc getting started, and things like that. Okay, great. But when we do that, we have the doc right here on the now bar. So every time that you create the meta.json and the type of its page, it will appear right here inside your now bar. So for example, if I create another one, which is called, let's say, doc1, and this is doc1, and so you will see there's docs and doc1 right here. Okay, so if you don't want to display this one, so right now I'm going to remove this one, I'm going to do the display, and we will do this one and to hit it. Okay, so right now if you look at the docs right here is hidden, it's gone, but everything is stayed the same, and it's follow this one right here. Great. So right now we can order the item right here, because right now it's not ordered correctly, because if we create this page right here, it will order based on the page name. But if you want to order, so we can need to create the meta.json, and then we're going to, I'm going to copy this one, so you can map your key, whatever that you wanted to go first. So getting started is going to go first, right? And then it's going to be getting started right here, or maybe we can have the space, and then we can do this one. Okay, and then you're gonna have the API, and the API will map to another API. So if you have another link, you can just add it below right here, and then you can order this one. So if we go back, as you can see, the getting started is stay on top right here. Very nice. So right now we need to fix one problem, is that if I go click on this doc right here, and so right now when I go into this one, so when I click on the docs right here, so this one, it will return me to the docs page, which is not exist, because right now our doc is going to, we do not have our docs page, right? We have only the doc/API or doc/getting started. So what we need to do is just fix the link that we connect together. And so for that, inside the layout, and I think let's go to app directory and let's search for this one, the navbar, and the link right here. I'm going to replace this one right here. Okay, that's great. So right now, if I go back in here, and then if I go back, and as you can see, it's going to the right page, and it's that right here. So notice that right here, the seam here is messed up. So the reason is that whenever you change the seam inside this one, so it's going to affect your seams overall as well, since we are using Next seams. And so for that, you need to handle your seam as well. So, but I haven't handled the seam. That's why this one look kind of sucks. But anyway, so right now, I'm going to update it later. Okay, so right now we complete the page configuration. We follow this one. So the next step that I'm going to show you is to show you how to create the MDX file, and we're going to talk more about that. All right, so let's do that. So for the content of the MDX file, it's going to be a markdown. So I'm going to copy the content. So we're going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to copy the content from the template, that existing template. Let's go in here. So this is the content. Let's just copy this markdown right here. So basically it's a markdown. So, and you can come here, and then, so for example, I'm going to paste this one and paste this one as well. Let's just change something a little bit. So as you can see, this is the markdown. And if we go back right here into this documentation, so right now I think it's compiling. Maybe we can try to refresh this one. Okay, okay, I forgot to save this one. And right now, as you can see, we have this one. So one good thing about this one, as you can see, every time you have the heading, so this heading right here, it will generate you the size of this one. So what is Next.js? You can click on the documentation. So you can see that this is really nice. So it's really powerful and it's really great. So right here, you can write your code inside here as well. So for example, we have this example where they can show you the snippet of code. So I'm going to copy this content right here, and we can paste this one. And so right now, let's going back. So as you can see, it gives you like, okay, they even have a file name. If you don't want that, you can just remove this one. And this is like where you're going to highlight the file. So we're going to highlight the file on line 3. And if you want to enable copy, just do this one. So right now, that's why we have this copy, and everything is good on dark mode and the light mode as well. So you can see on the dark mode, it looks something like this. So this is where you can putting your markdown. So one cool thing about this markdown is not just a markdown. It's also as you can see right here, it also have you can write your code inside. So for example, I'm going to copy this one, and then let's go inside this one. And then I think I'm going to fix something because I do not have the style right here. Let's remove this one. And for the style right here, I'm going to remove this one as well. Okay, so let's save this one. So you can see this is not a markdown, right? This is React code, and we write it inside the MDX file. So if we go inside this one, so you can see the result is working. So right now your markdown has become interactive, and it's really amazing. And also you can import the external component inside here as well. So in order to do that, let's say this is the external. Let's just copy this one. And for this section, so this is markdown, and once again, this is markdown code, and this is React code. So right now we need to create the component for this one. So right now I need to create a component inside this one. Let's do a test component .tsx, and then we have the test component, and this one I'm going to do hide from outside. And so you can write your component right here, and then so we can import it inside this one. So right now, to import this one, we're going to do outside 2 times. So because right now we're in the docs folder, so we need to go out and then out of the page, go to component, and this one is going to be test, and this one is going to change this one to test as well. And then update this one. And if we go back right here, so you can see this is hide from the outside, which is really nice. All right, so this is really great. So yeah, so one last thing that I wanted to show you is how to integrate Tailwind into this one. So right now in our app directory, we are supporting the Tailwind, right? because if you go into this page right here, writing the style using Tailwind, and for this one, we need to support the Tailwind as well. So right here, if you want to write the code and import the outside component. So for example, if I wanted to make this one the BG, let's say green 500. And so right now, as you can see, we go back and go into our documentation, and it's not affect. It's not pick up, so this one. And if we go into inspect this one as well, so you can see we have the BG green, but why it's not adding. So in order to make this one work, we need to make sure that we're using the Tailwind inside the page directory as well. So let me show you how to do that. So to work with Tailwind, so you can go into this Tailwind right here. Also, you can search inside here as well. So the Tailwind right here for Next.js. So you can see what we need to do. We need to adding the .mdx behind the every content. So right now let's go to the config.ts. So right now we need to make sure that everything here, it need to have the .mdx. So let's do this one. We need to adding MDX at the end of this one. And so right now, once we complete this one, so we need to import the style inside our page as well. So inside our page right here, so we need to create the files called apps.tsx. So this file right here. And so for this content, so let's just copy this one, and then we can paste this one right here. So right now, let's make sure that everything is still working fine. Let's try to refresh this one. So you can see all good to go. So right now we need just to import the style inside here, because if you look at the app directory inside the layout, we import the style of the global style CSS, right? Inside the layout right here. That's why Tailwind is supporting. So for this one, I'm going to move this global.css right here outside. So this one, and then I create the folder called style right here. So then I can paste this one. So and then inside the app directory right here for the layout, and I'm going to import this one. Let's go out this one, and then let's go into the style, and then we have this one. Okay, so this is the style of this one, and inside for the page right here, we're going to have the apps right here, and then we're going to import the same things. And so right now, okay, I think we have some error. I think the style right here, or style with S. Okay, and then for the app directory, I think I messed up as well. This one is going to be style with S as well. So if we go back right here, so right now everything should working. So as you can see right now, the Tailwind is working inside your MDX, and we make sure that we're not breaking anything inside the app directory as well. Okay, this is good. And also inside your MDX right here, right now let's go into here. You can style your code. So this code is inside your MDX, right? You can write the class name right here. And then you can just do, let's say, BG blue 500. Great. So right now, and one it's okay. So you can see this is BG. But so I think if you want to create the component inside this one, basically you can just using the import outside, it's better. All right, so as you can see, this is really simple. So all you need to do is just adding your MDX content right here. You also can mix the code inside here as well. And so right now you can know how to do this one. You can go ahead and let's say check out the documentation to add more and customize based on your application. And so for example, right here, I'm using the same technology to build this one right here. I will link the source code for this one inside the description as well if you wanted to see how I build this one as well. So I think that's pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.